Western Michigan will be receiving it. And the man returning the football is arguably the most dangerous return man in all of college football, Darius Phillips.
Yeah, I don't know how it's easier said than done, but man, if you can kick it out of the end zone, that's where it goes. But if not, do not kick it to that guy.
He is waiting. 5 return touchdowns in his career. One of them in the punt game, 4 on kickoff returns, including one a couple of years ago against these Michigan State Spartans.
And you know what happens? He thinks he can take it back every time. And those other 10 guys out there blocking for him think, you know, I get my block. He's going to take it to the house. You notice they stacked 3 guys back there. You don't know which side he's going to go to. They'll switch the 2 deep guys back, one to the right, one to the left.
Scanlon kicks it away. Phillips is going to go down to a knee. Mark D'Antonio probably saying, shoot, go ahead, you can do that all you want, Darius Phillips. And the Broncos will bring it out to the 25, and they will be led by number 16, John Wasink, who was 11 for 22 last week against USC.
Yeah, they had the running game going, and that's why they competed so well on the road against a great team like Southern Cal. You know, you think about a quarterback, a running game is the best friend of any quarterback.
After the game, they asked head coach Tim Lester, hey, were you upset at his performance? He said, no, he was a great game manager. We wanted to run the football, and we obviously ran it very well. Levante Bellamy in the backfield to the right of John Wasink. It'll be a quick screen. Out to about the 30 that time for Dwayne Eskridge.
And I talked about the running backs that they have. They've had a lot of good ones, but when you rush like they did against Southern Cal, without even looking at film, I knew that offensive line was awful good.
Fans, if you're looking for the Eastern Michigan-Rutgers game, go to btn.com/gamefinder right now to see where you can find that game in your area. Right here we are in East Lansing, set for play number 2 of the opening drive for the Broncos of Western Michigan. Another short pass. And a nice job evading the tackle by Keyshawn Watson, and he will pick up the first.
The one thing that any spread teams likes to do is to get the ball on the perimeter in space. And this is what they hope happens. Makes it awful tough. You see the aggressiveness out of Michigan State, but he doesn't make the tackle.
Last year, they lost such an amazing receiver in Corey Davis, who was a first-round pick by the Titans. Broke the NCAA record with 5,285 receiving yards. But they feel like they've got some pieces, and they showed it against USC. Taking off this time, Wasink up the middle. And he'll get 3 on the ground that time before he's hit and dropped by Bocci.
Yeah, you see everybody does this. They'll motion somebody out of the backfield to pull a linebacker out, and then you have a numerical advantage with the quarterback carrying the ball running up the middle.
Joe Bocci, the Mike linebacker, with a stop. You'll hear his name quite a bit today. Western Michigan, we talked about the whites for Michigan State. A pretty sharp look for the Broncos. They counter with the all-black from head to toe. Going out of the pistol here. Handing it off, Levante Bellamy looking for space. And he's got the edge, and he has a first down. Getting around the corner, turning it upfield for a gain of 9.
Yeah, Andrew Dow, the outside linebacker, was there, but I think he misjudged the speed of the running back. You see, the running back's just faster than the linebacker.
Bellamy is very, very fast. They say that he is the fastest of the 3 that they use back there. He, Tucker, and Jamari Bogan. You'll see all 3 of them. Play action. Wasink. Incomplete. Threw it behind Donnie Ernsberger. Second down.
Brandon, you hear me talk all the time. I get nervous when a quarterback is rolling out and he throws back in the middle, across his body. If you don't connect with that receiver, about 50% chance it's going the other way.
A little dangerous there from John Wasink, the redshirt sophomore from Grand Rapids. As you might suspect, a lot of Michigan kids on both sides of the football. Inside give. Pretty good on the run defense there. Andrew Dow will be credited with a tackle after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about when he let the running back get outside him. He came on a little blitz right there from the backside, made the play, and he was all fired up.
The back of his jersey says A. Dow because there's also a D. Dow, his brother David, twin brother, on the team as well. You'll see him on defense.
They hinted, Michigan State defensive coaches hinted, the difference you might see is on a 3rd down package. They have 3 down linemen right here. They normally would rush 4. They've got 3.
See what they do on 3rd and 8. Toss over the middle's picked. It is intercepted by Josiah Scott, the freshman corner, and the Spartans take over.
You know, Grant, that's a great play there, and if there's one thing missing from this Michigan State defense a year ago, it's that right there. Interceptions, forcing turnovers, tackles for loss, pressure on the quarterback. I guarantee you D'Antonio's fired up on the sideline along with those co-defensive coordinators.
Yeah, they were -5 in the turnover category last year. And Josiah Scott securing his first career interception.
Yeah, they were -5, and they're playing Western Michigan, who a year ago had just had an unbelievable season. They were +18.
And John Wassink getting a teaching moment from Tim Lester over there on the Broncos sideline.
How impressive is Tim Lester when we visited with him on the telephone? And, you know, there's a guy that's back at his alma mater, had an unbelievable career for the Broncos as a quarterback. I was really, really impressed. Got to visit with him a little bit a year ago when he was at Purdue, and now he's back home here in Kalamazoo, and I think everybody's glad he's there.
They're taking a look at this play upstairs. Our referee, Dan Capron, talking with replay official Rodney Ames, making sure that that was indeed an interception by Josiah Scott.
You know, at first glance, I thought it was very good. You see he's got it, he turns and he rolls, his elbow hits. That's an interception. Yep.
Confirmed. Interception.
And Dan Capron says it is indeed confirmed, and the first interception of the career for Josiah Scott holds up. So the Spartan defense holds strong. And now they get ready to take over in front of a great crowd here in East Lansing.
You'll see Michigan State variety of formations. Here they are, under center, 2 backs in the backfield.
And they will give it to Gerald Holmes. He'll get stopped just shy of the 30. Tackled by Asante Brown, Robert Spillane, a pair of the linebackers.
Well, Gerald Holmes got the first carry. They're not down on L.J. Scott, but he did put the ball on the ground twice last week. And, you know, when you preach protect the ball, that you got backs like Holmes and London behind him, I can see why they made a little switch. We will see Scott in this game.
Although Tim Doust, who's the defensive coordinator for Western Michigan, said, I hope he doesn't play. I hope they put him in the doghouse. Here's a completion over the middle. Nice catch by Felton Davis. Gets a couple extra on the end of it across the 45-yard line.
Well, this is a good timing. He gets the stand, no pressure. Good move by Davis right in the middle. Easy throw, no one in his way.
Davis battled injuries as a freshman and sophomore. Feels like he's healthy now as a junior and ready to go. And he was one of the guys that co-offensive coordinator Jim Bowman told us has really stood out along with Darryl Stewart in that wide receivers crew. Up the middle, a nice hole. Gerald Holmes picking up the first down on a gain of 13.
You know, when we watch this offense of Michigan State, they're young, they're inexperienced, with the exception of the running backs, and especially up front, the offensive line, they're young. And Jim Bowman, the co-offensive coordinator, said they're young, they're not good yet, but down the road, they're going to be really good.
It is Gerald Holmes again in the backfield. And he'll get the football once more. Patient, finding a little seam on the left side. Is it a subtle message to L.J. Scott not to get the start after the 2 fumbles, you think, Coach?
Yeah, I think it's, I think it's not only a subtle message to him, it's to all those running backs, We got a lot of confidence in you, but number one on offense, you got to protect the football. And as a quarterback, you don't throw an interception, you're running back, man, you can't put the ball on the ground.
That's what Coach shared with Elise before the game. He shared it with us yesterday. That is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 in the keys today. Take care of the ball. Avoiding the blitz off the edge. Throwing deep. And it's batted away. Ball intended for Tristan Jackson. Good defense by Darius Phillips.
Well, I'm going to tell you who made a great play right there is Gerald Holmes, the tailback, because he faked to the right. He saw the blitz coming from the left. Watch him right here. He sees it and he goes back. If he doesn't pick that man up, that quarterback Lewerke is going to get blindsided.
And then Phillips, who we talked about, such a powerful returner, he also has 10 interceptions in his career. And a nice play defensively. 3rd down and 8. You wonder, this spot, might we be in 4-down territory? Let's see what they do here. Diving attempt at it. They'll say incomplete. Went right back to Tristan Jackson, but he couldn't haul it in.
This is where you have confidence in your place kicker. You put the punting team in and you tell him, we got to get that ball down inside the 20-yard line, hopefully inside the 10-yard line. Then it's a key play. Field position is so important in football.
Clearly that ball hit the ground. Tristan Jackson couldn't haul it in. Nice call on the field. Punter Jake Hartbarger's out there. High end over end boot. How about that? He had a great game against Bowling Green, did Hartbarger, and what a great start for him here today. So each offense crosses midfield and then is stopped. No points on the board. Football on BTN is brought to you by Discover Card. We treat you like you treat you. Red Cedar River, just a stone's throw from Spartan Stadium. On a gorgeous afternoon. No score early first quarter. Before the game, Tom Izzo had the basketball team for the Michigan State Spartans here. Does this every year. A little bit of a reunion. Some of the alums taking in the contest today. A great tradition that Tom Izzo started several seasons ago.
I just love Izzo. Reminds me of a football coach, that guy.
He and Mark D'Antonio talk about 2 great institutions in East Lansing. They have cemented their legacy. After a great punt by the Spartans, Western Michigan taking over deep in their own territory, and they don't get a whole lot out of that. A little breathing room, a gain of a couple before the tackle by Mike Panashu.
Brandon, if they could get press coverage here, like Michigan State likes to play, I wouldn't be surprised they would go deep. Watching film, their corners, which are young guys, got beat quite often against Bowling Green. Bowling Green just didn't connect.
We were told we're going to see a lot of guys in that secondary, partly because of how fast Western Michigan can go, partly because, like you said, Coach, they're just searching for answers out of that crew, but they like what they have. Just a lot of youth. Jamari Bogan breaking a tackle and getting it out around the 15 for a first down. Speaking of Coach Tom Izzo, let's go down to Elise Miniker with him.
Hey, Coach. Beautiful day. You have your basketball family here, the football family, of course, at home. Is this your favorite day of the year?
It is one of my favorite days of the year. I love football still, and having all the guys back, and a lot of our NBA guys, but a lot of our former players, all the way back to the Judd era. So it's pretty cool.
Speaking of Judd, obviously missing here today after he died last week, you were assistant under him. What did Judd mean to you?
Well, he meant everything to me, because I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for Judd. He helped me get this job, but he helped prepare me for this job. And so when you're prepared, well, you got a chance to sustain something. But Judd was a special guy, and he did a lot for me, along with a lot of other players. And I think all these people have great respect. When you're a first-name guy, Judd, that means you've arrived.
Thanks so much, Coach, for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Elise.
Brandon, let's go back to you.
Yeah, a lot of people were sad at the passing of Judd Heathcote. Thanks for the time from Coach Tom Izzo sharing his memories. It's Western Michigan handing it off yet again. Mari Bogan, he's gotten a load of carries here on this drive. He'll get a couple there.
Yeah, well, we were talking to Coach Izzo down there. Really impressed with Western Michigan. Got the first down, changing field position. And in this running game, when you watch Bowen run the ball, I mean, he knows what he's doing. Bowen, he'll take it one side, cut it back to the other.
Get it to him going left side, and he's going to be stopped. Well, they said they love Bogan on 3rd and short because he's 5'7", low to the ground, but that time I don't think it mattered. Kenny Lewerke and company coming up for the stop.
No, credit Michigan State. You saw when he's been making his yards, he's been cutting back. This time they had a solid wall up there. He had to bounce it to the left. You're not getting any yards doing that.
Doesn't matter how low you are to the ground. When you don't get any push with the O-line, it's going to result in a loss of 2 like it did there. So Derek Mitchell, who is 30 years old at punter. He played 7 years of minor league baseball. His teammates call him Grandpa, and he will send it away here. And a nice punt. Darryl Stewart taking it. Flag comes in as Stewart is dropped at the 35.
Yeah, when you get a flag there, it's neither, pushing the back or holding. Almost always against the return team.
And all indications are that that's going to be the case here after a 47-yard punt, a 3-yard return. And we talked to Dan Capron.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 7. 10-yard penalty. First down, Michigan State. Timeout.
That penalty on Cody White.
League, it's a good punt right there. Right in his back.
Big Ten Conference certainly looking strong when you look at the polls. You got Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Wisconsin, all in the top 10.
I'm going to see what kind of fan you were. Who were the same teams in 1999? Do you name them?
I was a sophomore in high school, and I think it was the exact same 4 teams. I grew up in Big Ten country, Coach. As this Michigan State drive starts with L.J. Scott, so he didn't get the start, but L.J. Scott, who fumbled twice last week, gets 5 yards on his first carry.
Yeah, and he had, and let me, in defense of L.J. Scott, his first fumble down on the goal line last week, I mean, some guy came in and put his helmet right on the ball. He had to protect it. It just, guy missed his block. Defensive guy made a great play.
And the second fumble may not have been a fumble. They just didn't have enough evidence to overturn it.
Still didn't start today.
But, yeah, exactly. They wanted to send the message. And L.J. Scott, he's sending the message right now, plowing straight ahead. He's a strong runner, isn't he?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mentioned to coaches the other day, I still remember when he scored on the goal line against Iowa a while ago, and he just took like 3 or 4 of those Hawkeyes in the end zone with him on a big play to win a game. Really impressive.
You won't see those numbers too often on the 2017 season. 3rd down and 3. Scott up the middle. First down. Had a crease here. If he could have slipped left, might have taken it all the way to the end zone. As it stands at 6 yards.
Well, I can tell you, when you all the way to the safety, and Tranquil has to make the tackle all by himself. It's just a matter of time. Watch this line blocking. Fold the guard around for the trap, and he goes all the way to safety.
Quick pass there, trying to get it to Darryl Stewart. Incomplete. So Michigan State getting up, running that last play quickly as we are inside of 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Last week against Bowling Green, Michigan State had a slow start, trailed 3-0 after the end of 15 minutes before really picking it up. Now, flag came in late, and it's going to go against Western Michigan.
Yeah, they had 12 men out there.
So give them 5 yards and put the football out at the 39 for Michigan State. And we have whistles, so hold the phone here again.
The previous play is under further review.
Well, they're going to take a look at it.
Want to make sure they counted right.
Well, the flag did come in, as I said, late. We didn't even see it up here in the booth. They want confirmation. Mark D'Antonio, Tim Lester. You mentioned Tim Lester. What a great job he's done early on. And now, let's see.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count 12. Yeah.
They're going to make sure that they count it as we count it, and then we can resume. But it was interesting talking with the Western Michigan coaches, because their defensive coordinator, Tim Doust, he said, you know, when you play Michigan State, little old school football, as we
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The defense did have 12 men on the field. First down.
So it is 12 men first down. But Tim Doust was telling us, you know, they can go old school Michigan State. You kind of have to teach football defensively how it was when I played back when.
Well, yeah, you know, they huddle. You know, they line up with the quarterback under center, 2 backs in the backfield. They run the isolation at you.
But that time they sped them up, and they got 12 men on the field out of it. So the Spartans showing that they can be flexible on offense. 1st and 5 after the penalty. We got all that sorted out. Brian Lewerke, he's going to keep it. He showed last week he can run, and now it's a foot race. And Lewerke takes it to the house. He ran for 69 yards last week. That was a 61 touchdown run. And what about the wheels of number 14?
Oh, yeah. Watch it right there. Now, let me just tell you something. I said that D'Antonio doesn't want that guy to be the leading rusher. If he has a couple runs like that, that would be fine with Mark D'Antonio.
Fake the give, right up the gut, all the way to the end zone. Extra point by Matt Coughlin. 7-zip. Mark D'Antonio said that Brian Lewerke has the it factor. They certainly had it on this play. 61 yards, 7-0 Spartans. Fourth career start for the sophomore Brian Lewerke, and just had the longest play of his career, and he did it with his right and left legs, and it was impressive.
Yeah, watching it all starts with a great fake by the running back, a lost start. Look at, he gets everybody to bite down on him, Scott. And then you watch Luke Campbell, the right tackle. He gets up on the linebacker, Caleb Bailey, takes him whichever way he wants to go. Lewerke does the rest.
This time it will be returnable for Darius Phillips. They made it such a point of emphasis to stop that man, and they did a pretty good job containing him right there as he brings it back shy of the 25. SoFi, the preferred financial partner of the Big Ten Conference. Moments ago, what were they saying?
I tell you, hey, we're playing good defense, fellas. Just play your techniques. If we get him in 3rd and long again, a passing situation, I'm going to light him up. We need another turnover.
They had it earlier by Josiah Scott. Turnover margin was, as we said, the big point of emphasis for Mark D'Antonio and company. So far, they're winning that battle. And they're winning on the board where it matters, 7-0. As the Broncos start this drive of the right hash from the 24. Quick toss out to Levante Bellamy, and he's brought down at the 28. Right now, let's toss it to Mike Hall for a studio update.
Brandon and Glenn, we want to update you on the Cyhawk game. This thing went to overtime until that play. Nate Stanley to Amir Smith-Marset won it for the Hawkeyes 44-41.
So Iowa with the impressive win against their in-state rival Iowa State. That one went back and forth, but the Hawkeyes able to get the victory in OT.
A real nail-biter.
Yeah.
Big win for them.
You and I were tracking that as we were prepping. As a flag comes in here, this is going to be on the Broncos.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
A lot of noise. Now, there was noise last week when they played at USC, but it may be even louder here today. Second pre-snap penalty for Western Michigan.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes how a no-huddle, up-tempo team gets a delay a game, but they keep changing the play, looking toward the sideline.
Makes it second down and 11. Jarby and Franklin in the backfield, but this time Wasink wants to throw, and dropping it on the cut inside. Anton Curtis hit him right in the hands. Couldn't hang on.
Yeah, it's awful good passing. Wasink, he's got to catch that. It wasn't high, right in front of him. Oh, yeah.
Just a clear drop from Anton Curtis. Western Michigan 0 for 2 on third down in this game, including the interception that Wasink threw. Here they need 11 yards. It's complete now. Can he get to the sticks? No. Watson with a reception, but he's shoved out of bounds by Grayson Miller. Broncos will have to punt.
Well, they came with that new third down package again. They put pressure on the quarterback. Didn't get to him, but the idea is on third and long, make sure they punt.
Darrell Stewart back, and Derek Mitchell. As I said earlier, their 30-year-old punter also got married in August last month, so a lot going on for this man getting ready to boot the football away. And it's not a good one. A low bouncer. That's going to turn out okay because Stewart didn't have a chance to grab it and run with it. It'll be a 50-yard punt, no return, and let's toss it back down to Elise Menaker.
Hi, Brandon. Who says you can't wear white after Labor Day? You were talking about these all-white uniforms and the helmets. Well, here are the helmets. Not leather, Brandon. Just a nice matte finish on them. And speaking of helmets, you know, you heard head coach Mark D'Antonio mention the number 3 that Western Michigan is wearing on theirs. You can see it there. That's in honor of Mike Sadler. He died last year in a car accident. Well, now there is an award called the Mike Sadler Award. It was just renamed. It goes to the top Division I scholar athlete. Western Michigan's quarterback, Zach Terrell, last year, he won it. So this is how everything kind of came together. They wanted to honor him.
And a very cool gesture as they give it to Darrell Stewart on the reverse. Wide receiver. They like to get it to him in the run game. He ran it 3 times against Bowling Green, and he gets the carry there for 6 yards.
Yeah, that counteraction, when it's successful, very effective, because then all the other running game, those linebackers and the people backside have to stay at home worried about that. I don't know what Elise is talking about. White after Labor Day. She's got white pants on today. What is she talking about?
But that was a very cool gesture by Western Michigan.
Absolutely.
The late Michigan State punter, they wanted to honor him. And wearing the number 3 sticker on the back of their helmets. Very classy. And also a classy gesture by them last week at USC as there's a carry that'll get it to the 30. Still going to be a yard shy. But Tim Lester, if you saw that USC game, their snapper, Jake Olson, who was blind, came off the bench, and Tim Lester had an agreement that at the end of the game, he was going to let Clay Helton's USC squad bring out Jake Olson, the blind snapper, and snap for an extra point. They did. It was a really, really touching moment.
Yeah, a great moment for college football. And these things really don't get the publicity they should get sometimes, because it was great.
Need a 1-yard push. That offensive line, which so many Michigan State fans have their eye on here early in the season, got enough surge, and they will move the chains. Spartans already over 100 yards on the ground.
Yeah, you look at that offensive line there, the exception of Brian Allen, their great center, all those other guys are coming back.
Looked like a little deception there. Lewerke acting like he was going to talk to the line, then the quick snap and plowing ahead. Lewerke off play action. And it is intercepted. Darius Phillips, his 11th career interception. And just like that, the Broncos have the ball back. We talked about Darius Phillips, coach, a guy that can do so much returning the ball, and he's also very dangerous in pass protection just like that.
Yeah, he's a great one. And, you know, Lewerke saw the blitz coming again. He focused on the one receiver. He thought he had him beat. He had no idea where Phillips won. And, man, he just sunk right back to center field, went up. Look at that catch. He started out as a wide receiver. I think that guy can play just about any position out there.
And Tim Lester said we want to put him on offense. We just need to get our new system settled, get him set on defense, and then later in the season they're hoping to use him, as we said, in all three phases. He's that type of player. Toss out to Giovanni Ricci. Brought down shortly after the catch, a gain of 5.
Well, the Spartans are bringing more pressure than typically they would a year ago. They brought the linebacker, the outside linebacker, Andrew Dowell again, given the look like he's going to be off and covered versus a spread formation, then last minute coming.
First quarter seconds ticking down here, and Western Michigan's going to let them go ahead and tick down to double zeros. Pretty entertaining first quarter. Michigan State rushes for over 100 yards. A couple of interceptions, a lot of good action through one at East Lansing. "15 minutes in the books from Spartan Stadium. 7-0. Michigan State, 14th all-time meeting between the two programs, and the Spartans have won the last 10. Western Michigan hoping to stem the tide, and really a pretty entertaining first quarter despite not a ton of points on the board. And the Broncos will start off the second 15 with a 5. Lossink hands it off. And a first down, carrying a little extra for Jarvian Franklin. Senior tailback. 15 yards on the play.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Western. Bellamy, Bogan, Franklin. These guys are all big-time running backs. They look quick.
Yeah, they do. They said Bellamy's the fastest of the three, but they're all quick. Bogan's the third and short guy, and then Franklin, who we just saw, is kind of a combo of Bellamy and Bogan. They like all three of them. That was the first play of the game for over 10 yards for Western Michigan. Short carry here. We'll bring up 2nd and 9. Let's toss it to Mike Hall in Chicago.
All right, Brandon, let's update you on the reigning Big Ten champs. Penn State taking on their in-state rival Pitt, and this is Mike Gesicki for a touchdown, which we could have said earlier, because it's his second touchdown of the first half. Nittany Lions are up 14-0.
Thank you, Mike. Keep our eyes on Penn State there. As the Broncos get things sorted out on offense. Last year, such an amazing season under P.J. Fleck, who, of course, is now at Minnesota. Went 13-0 and go into the Cotton Bowl. Hit as he throws. Wassink just in front of Keyshawn Watson. If that was a hair closer to him, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, Chris Fry came clear from the backside, and how he got rid of the ball. Watch this right here. He gets rid of it. Big time hit by Fry, and receiver was wide open.
Just blindsiding the senior Chris Fry, who led Michigan State in tackles last year with 96. And the team's only sack last week against Bowling Green. You mentioned that's something they really want to improve upon. Only 11 sacks last year. 124th in FBS football. See what kind of pressure they bring here. 3rd and 9. It's a conservative handoff, but a scary handoff if you're a Spartan fan. He will be stopped 2 yards shy. Now you're at the 46. Does Western Michigan go for this?
I think they should punt it away in this game for field position.
And it appears that's what they're going to do.
I like the call on that 3rd and long. You think of, they've had problems. They had a turnover on 3rd down. They have problems picking up the blitz. So what you want to do is you don't want to make a mistake. You might break the run. If not, punt the ball away, come back and play again.
Some shifting before the punt. Larice Nelson is deep for the Spartans. He'll take the fair catch right around the 10. 36-yard punt. No return. Pass one. P.J. Fleck used to be the head man for Western Michigan 4 seasons there, now at Minnesota.
Here we got an empty set. Let's see if it's another quarterback run.
He wants to throw it, and he completes it. Felton Davis over the middle, bringing it in for first down yardage, a gain of 17.
And I'll tell you, Lewerke needed that because he's had a good running day so far, but he was 1 of 4 passing with an interception. Good protection, puts the ball right on the money.
Felton Davis, who said to the media this week, this group of receivers with a lot of youth, they're calling themselves the bad boys, just like the Detroit Pistons back in the late 80s. High throw. Flag does come in around the line of scrimmage as that one sailed too high for Darryl Stewart.
Holding. Offense. Number 59. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on the right guard, David Beadle.
Yeah, you can see that he thought the linebacker was going to go inside. He went outside, and he grabbed him up.
Beadle, a junior, got dinged up against Bowling Green, left the game in the third quarter, but was fine. Practice this week and back out there. So now it makes it a 1st and 20 from the 17. Off the fake give, Lewerke caught. Tackle just shy of the 35. Matt Sokol, junior, tied in with his first reception.
Yeah, I asked how they were going to replace Josiah Price, and they just kind of laughed, but they said, you know, Matt Sokol, he's really having a good camp, a good year so far. He's a good athlete. He's a high school quarterback, and they're very pleased with him.
And Price, those are big shoes to fill. He left Michigan State the all-time touchdown leaders for a tight end. This time they'll go to the ground. L.J. Scott just get 1 yard before he's tackled by the linebacker Robert Spillane.
You know, the first word that comes, or adjective that comes to my mind when I watch Western Michigan at the Mid-America Conference, they're tough. Yeah, I mean, they line up and they play, and nothing fancy about it. They're just going to execute you and play good, solid football.
Well, so many people were talking about losing Fleck, and then, of course, the quarterback Terrell and the wide receiver Corey Davis, but they have a ton back from last year as well. There was some grabbing over there on that side, but no flag. Darius Phillips on the coverage of Felton Davis. I think both guys thought the other was grabbing.
Yeah. It's just, you know, the type of guy that Darius Phillips is, you kind of feel like he's thinking to himself, really? Try that again over here, you know?
He is not short on confidence as the senior from Detroit. And now he will return the punt after being on the coverage of the pass. So a great punt earlier from Jake Hartbarger. Phillips is going to take the fair catch right around the 20. They want to limit him in the return game. They were able to do it there. 45-yard kick.
Cinema.
7-0 Michigan State. That's the score right now. Next Saturday, more football action. Another great slate of Big Ten football on BTN and Fox Sports. 3 top 10 teams in action, plus other great matchups. It all starts next Saturday at noon Eastern on BTN, Fox, and FS1. Or if you want to stream it, BTN to go and Fox Sports Go. Western Michigan, they held. Spartans had to punt, so now they take over on offense. So far, their 4 drives have gone interception, punt, punt, punt. They will try to change that tune right here. Wasink had nowhere to go. Try to take off, and he's pancaked. Got hit by Josh Butler.
Yeah, the differences I see this year, you can see they're bringing more pressure. They brought the linebacker, they brought the corner. 2 guys off the edge, he had no chance.
Butler, number 19, and the other guy was Chris Fry, taking him down for a loss of 4. Western Michigan, 79 yards of total offense, 154 for Michigan State. Off play action, here comes pressure. Wasink cannot get around the edge. What a shoestring tackle by Andrew Dowell. That's an 11-yard loss.
Yeah, he's fired up. We talked about earlier in the first quarter, he missed the running back. He's coming. He's got his hair on fire. He's going to get that quarterback. That's a big, big play.
Expecting a big year out of him. He had 5 tackles against USC. Getting a second there. So an 11-yard loss. 3rd down and 25. What do they have in the playbook for this? They go conservative, just to get a little extra space before they punt it.
You know, right here, you got to make a decision. Got them backed up here. Do you go after the punt? Do you play field position? You know, I'd go for a return here. I really would.
Why not the pressure and the block?
Well, because I'm going to get good field position, and you know that you can block it or you can rough the punter. You rough the punter, you give him a first down, and you think, you know, the old saying, there's an old saying in Kansas, pigs get fed and hogs get slaughtered. I'm going to be a pig right here. I'm just going to take the ball.
Former coach Glenn Mason on Brandon Gunn. Great shot there from the end zone as Derek Mitchell gets it away. And a chance for the return for Stewart. Well, he'll be dragged down on the other side of the 50. Nice special teams tackle by Alex Grace. So a 48-yard punt, 4-yard return. 7-0 Michigan State. On the punt before we went to commercial, that man, number 2, Justin Tranquil, he got injured. Coach, it did not look good.
No, you know, his own man got blocked right into him. It was low and got hit around the legs, and Justin Tranquil's, you know, their starting safety, so hopefully he'll get back in the game, but in the interim, Michigan State might go after his replacement.
He reached right for that knee at a team-high 8 tackles against USC. Such a big piece to their puzzle. Hopefully he's okay. As Lewerke's going to keep it. He had a 61-yard touchdown run earlier, and this is good for a 12-yard gain and a first down. He said Michigan State wants to run the football. They can do it in a variety of ways. If it's not Lewerke, it's these 3 guys. Yeah,
that's the guys. They're really good players. And traditionally, Michigan State, that's what they want to do. Them running the ball, but, you know, they didn't want Lewerke, but they did mention, you know, in high school, he was a dual-threat quarterback. He keeps executing this stuff. You might see a change in offensive plan for the Spartans going forward.
Well, Lewerke has 75 of the Spartans, 116 rushing yards. This time he's going to fling it out onto the outside of Mondre London, the tailback. Been a few that time before he's brought down by Asante Brown.
Well, they moved the pocket. They just roll him to the right. He was looking deep. He had 2 receivers going deep. Nothing there. He went to his outlet. Good execution. So
Western Michigan said they were going to have a linebacker spying Lewerke. What else can they do to try to stop him?
Well, they're talking about spying when he pulled the ball down, when he went back to throw the ball. These are called runs. They're just having a different ball carrier, and that's the quarterback. And you don't spy on that.
They're going to hand it. This is Mondre London. Bring up a 3rd down. London was able to get 5. We've seen Scott, we've seen Holmes, now London with a carry.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up. You talked about the 69 yards against Bowling Green. That's because he went back to throw the ball and he took off and ran, not design runs. Today, they're design runs.
I think all but about 10 of his yards last week on the ground were out of the pass game. So this is what the rushing attack has done so far in this game.
Still secondary to Lewerke.
London will try to even things out, and he is able to get the first down yardage before being driven back. What a nice luxury, though, to have Lewerke, to have the 3 guys in the backfield.
Well, any defensive coordinator will say if you have a good running attack, if you have the type of running backs they have, and you also have a quarterback that can run the football, boy, that gives you a numerical advantage, especially when you spread everybody out and you still have a running back there to block for your quarterback.
Lewerke started 2 games last year. He was battling with Brian O'Connor, but then he broke his tibia against Michigan late October, and that ended his season. But a lot of high hopes for him, and we see why coming into 2017. Now it's time for the United States Marine Corps leader of the game, and that is Michigan State senior center Brian Allen from Hinsdale, Illinois. As a nice play again defensively by Darius Phillips to knock it down, but getting back to Brian Allen, 2-time academic All-Big Ten. You see the GPA. So many good things he does for this program on and off the field, volunteering at local schools. Just a stand-up guy and a big part of that offensive line.
Yeah, he's the only senior. He's the leader up there. And watch him block right here. Smart guy that also can push some people around.
They're happy to have his brother, Matt Allen, redshirt freshman, as the backup center. You're going to see him from time to time. That is hauled in by Davis. Beating the coverage of Sam Beal. 11 yards, first down, Spartans.
Yeah, if you want a picture of a guy that catches the ball right in his hands with great concentration, look at that.
Belton Davis, who had 2 touchdown receptions last week, has been the guy here so far. That went right through the hands of Mondre London as they set up the screen.
Yeah, he had some heat on that ball and a little too high. But I just love that reception right there, which you can't see, but I promise you, Brandon, those eyes, watch that ball all the way into his hands. Little different receiver here, and the ball goes a little high. Come on now. Sun's in my eyes, and I'm not the tallest guy. And I've got good height, but I'm not 6'3".
Second down and 10 for the 15. Faking the give, Lewerke down the sideline. He's got L.J. Scott. Touchdown, Michigan State.
Great job of Dave Warner, the co-offensive coordinator for Michigan State, who calls the plays on offense. He mixed it up. He got exactly what he wanted. Execution was the key. 7 points for the Spartans.
So a 61-yard touchdown run for Brian Lewerke. Now the 15-yard pass to L.J. Scott out of the backfield. 14-0. Extra point is good by Matt Coughlin. L.J. Scott down the sideline and dancing into the end zone. L.J. Scott, touchdown reception, 14-0 Spartans before play resumes. Let's go back downstairs to Elise Menaker.
Yeah, Brandon, how good do you think that felt to L.J. Scott? He had a couple of fumbles last week that cost him on the scoreboard. I think there were a few extra fist pumps, head taps, high fives. I even heard a woo in there on the sidelines as he came off.
And it wasn't carrying the ball. It was on the wheel route down the sideline, Coach.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You get your hands on the ball, you get in the end zone. They love it. Sometimes a running back gets more excited about a reception for a touchdown than just running it in.
And Jim Bowman, co-offensive coordinator, said, you know what? L.J. Scott's becoming a better receiver. He showed it there. Darius Phillips, a chance to return it. This is what he does best. Down the left sideline and finally stopped as he steps out just across the 50. He has 5 return touchdowns in his career. So explosive, and just like that, he flips the field.
Well, you know, we were talking to Tim Lester about him, and I said, tell me about Darius Phillips. He said, wow. The other thing he said, you know, he cuts and makes full speed, cuts when he does it. You see it right there.
52-yard return. That's just not fair if you are the kickoff man, Brett Scanlon. trying to stop Darius Phillips. He gets a quick breather. The 5 career return touchdowns we mentioned.
Told you not to kick to that guy.
They said they would try to avoid it as best they could. Jamari Bogan getting the handoff. Now Western Michigan, who has nothing on the scoreboard, did start with plus territory there, gain of a couple. The return game, this is back in their 2015 meeting. This is really when he started to have his coming out party.
He's a little bigger there than he does now, you know? Looks faster now, though.
Michigan State would hold on, though, to win that game. They have won the last 10 meetings. On a sweep, a great tackle. Levante Bellamy going down. And that is thanks to Kevin Lewerke.
Well, Western Michigan had made some yards getting outside those defensive ends, but not on this play. That's easier said than done to pick that guy up, tackle him right there.
And I said
Bellamy's a good running back.
Yeah, and I said Lewerke. That was not. That was Jacob Panashu, freshman defensive end, with an impact play there. 3rd down and 15. They faked the give to Franklin. Incomplete. No flags. 4th down. Coverage by Josh Butler.
Yeah, that's a good series by that defense after giving up all that field position on the kickoff return by Phillips. They've got to be happy about that defense.
They have to be happy with their 3rd down defense. The Broncos 0 for 6 on 3rd downs. That Spartans defense, you said it at the top of the broadcast, hoping to get back to form. They really held Bowling Green down last week, and now another MAC school, Western Michigan, struggling to get anything going. Rugby-style punt, and it's going to turn out really well for the Broncos. It will finally stop rolling inside the 10. Stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Mike Hall, Jerry DiNardo, Howard Griffith will be along from our Chicago studio to get you caught up on all the games and news in the Big Ten today. But for Western Michigan, that's a 52-yard kick return they had by Phillips that went nowhere. Credit the Michigan State defense. They keep bringing it, don't they, Coach?
Yeah, they're playing well. You know, remember, they're playing the type of Michigan State defense that people became accustomed to playing for years up until last year. And they really thought they had to reinvent themselves because people have become very familiar with what they're doing. Plus, a lot of other teams have copied their defense. So they're doing some things a little differently now.
Saw the numbers for Lewerke better in the 2nd quarter. And that was an interesting point that they discussed with us. Really analyzed the film in the offseason, didn't they? And they said, you know what? We realized people are trying to imitate the champs. They're trying to do what we've been doing on defense, and people had been picking some things up. A little hole on the right side this time for Gerald Holmes. Eventually brought to the earth by Robert Spillane.
Yeah, I had a good time talking to their coaches. You know, Harlan Barnett, we got it going a little bit. We got probably a little too technical on the football end of it, but you know, he said they've studied us and they played us, and I also, and he agreed. I said, you know, a lot of people are playing your defense now, and other people play it, and then they have to face more than just the Spartans once a year. They know how to attack it.
But he said people aren't ready to admit that they're playing that Michigan State defense. They want to make sure it's their own package, but certainly has the hallmarks of what they've been able to do here in East Lansing. Delayed give. Out across the 20. But last year was an aberration. You look what they've done here year over year. Of course, just the year before last in the college football playoff.
Well, you know, when you get used to winning 11 games a year, the last decade, how many? 69 wins or whatever it was, and then all of a sudden you only have 3 wins, 1 Big Ten win. Obviously, no one's had it. Least of all, Mark D'Antonio.
Yeah, it was the biggest drop-off from wins to losses in Big Ten history a season ago. Wide open, down the flat, L.J. Scott. Mentioned he's becoming a better receiver. And the tailback there with a catch and a 1st down. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the half. Tonight, primetime Pac-12 showdown on Fox, where number 14 Stanford heads to the Coliseum to battle Heisman hopeful Sam Darnold. And 6th-ranked USC coverage begins tonight, 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox.
You know, ever since Jim Harbaugh was the coach of Stanford and he shocked Southern Cal, when Pete Carroll was there, things have been different out there.
They've got a good team going so far this season. That one across the 35 to the 36. Michigan State does have all 3 timeouts in their back pocket. Neither team has called a timeout so far in this first half.
Dave Warner's found something there, and you think about getting Scott out of the backfield multiple ways, have been very effective.
Takes the handoff, flips it outside. But a really nice tackle by Sam Beal, and that limited L.J. Scott to no gain.
Yeah, one of the points that Jim Bowman made to us was that L.J. Scott, you might have mentioned it before, that he's really worked hard and improved himself as a receiver, and that allows them to use him in a lot of different ways.
Last year he had 994 yards rushing, did L.J. Scott, but receiving game was left a little bit to be desired. He's showing up here a little better so far in 2017 in that department. Darrell Stewart went in motion. Now Brian Lewerke, there was nothing there.
Now when they get in the film room, they'll say, wait a minute now. You just can't assume the outlet is there because that black shirt was all over him.
Yeah, even if Gerald Holmes had caught that, Drake Spears was with him step for step. And here comes the dangerous Darius Phillips.
And what's the coaching point here?
Keep it away from him.
You got it.
Going back to an earlier point, do you like that they said they want to use Phillips on offense later in the season?
Absolutely.
Why not? You got the weapon. And they do keep this away from Phillips, punting it on an angle out of bounds. Monday night, see the special story about the amazing life of Maryland defensive end Melvin Cain. He left war-torn Liberia as an 8-year-old and hadn't seen his mother in 14 years. A powerful story. Don't miss The Reason I Play, presented by SoFi, Monday at 7 Eastern, right here on BTN. Got a sneak peek of that, and it is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And well done by our BTN team. So 1:03 left. You're Western Michigan. You have 3 timeouts. You're inside your own 30. How conservative are you here?
Well, typically here you'd like to break a play. If you can get it to midfield, then you go to 2-minute offense. You just don't want to throw 3 incompletions, have to punt it away to Michigan State.
A rush is coming. Wassing paid the price, but he was able to complete it to Dwayne Eskridge for a first down. But Joe Bocci just clobbered him.
Yeah. He just clobbered him, and no one blocked him. I mean, they got to think, you got to count for those linebackers.
This time Michigan State just rushing 3. Wassing tries to take off, and not a good decision. Raekwon Williams swallowed him up, no gain. Western Michigan takes a timeout, 46 ticks left. They did add 5 seconds to the game clock, so 51 seconds left, second quarter. Michigan State up 14-0. Western Michigan, boy, it sounds cliche, but they'd love to at least get 3 out of this and erase that goose egg.
Well, anytime you get the ball back like this in that minute category and you're in the short, on the long side of the 50, you're right. The mentality is, boys, if we can just move the ball, do some things, do a good job with time management, and get a shot at the field goal, we've done our job.
First half offensively has not been kind to Western Michigan. Interception and then punt city.
Yeah, if you're the defensive coordinators, or in this case the co-coordinators in Barnett and Dressler, you go into halftime, you look at that, you might not smile at the players, but you're smiling between each other.
They've held the Broncos to 79 yards, only 19 this quarter so far in the first half. Wassing, he's going to try to escape the pocket. There's nowhere to go.
And what's more impressive, they did that with a 3-man rush, and That's the new wrinkle that they're talking about right there. A
Charge
different look
timeout.
that they're giving to people
Michigan
on third
State,
down.
their first 30-second timeout.
This time it will be Michigan State taking the timeout. Quick break. Remember, coming up shortly, Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report from our Chicago studio. Get you caught up on all the other Big Ten action. 14-0 here. Michigan State took the timeout. Now they're hoping to flip the script here. Hold Western Michigan, maybe block a punt.
Well, that's when you would go after the punt. Exactly right.
Third down and long, up the middle. So the Spartans do stop him well shy of the line to gain. And Joe Bocci with a tackle. They'll take a timeout.
You can anticipate this coming. Good blocking. They trapped, three-man rush. They doubled the nose. They trapped the tackle, and right up the middle he went.
I thought they took a timeout, but that was not the case. They're just going to let it roll. Mark D'Antonio came out onto the field acting like he was going to signal for it, but instead this will be the end of the first half. Oh, now he takes the timeout. I think he just signaled for one. Yeah. Everyone is leaving, but they don't know that Mark D'Antonio just called the timeout. Tim Lester says, guys, we still got football to play.
Michigan State, their second.
So
30-second timeout.
the thought's got to be, okay, let's see if they're going to punt the football. If we go after the block, we block it, we return it for a touchdown, I've done exactly the right thing. If I rough the kicker, well, they get the ball back and they'll get another down, but they're not going to have great field position, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess also he's saying, had we fielded the punt with 20 seconds left, we're probably not going to go 80 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. So punt block or nothing.
So now the decision goes back. Oh, they put 8 seconds on. I was going to say they had 5 before. Then it goes back to Coach Lester. Does he say, well, you want to risk the punt the ball, or we just, we run around a little bit and take a loss, but eat up the clock?
What would you do if you were Lester?
If it was 5 seconds, I would not punt it. I wouldn't. I'd say snap it to the punter and just run backwards a little bit and go down, and I could eat up 5 seconds.
But
8 seconds.
8's too many.
8's too much, yeah. So now I'm going to tell that punter, good step, just punt it away. Get rid of it. As you notice, Michigan State has no one back.
Yeah, this is a complete sellout to try to get the block.
Now, real gutsy would be go with the fake and throw it deep because they got no one back.
Timeout.
Timeout.
Yeah.
Western Michigan, their second. 30-second timeout.
So timeouts galore.
And I really would think about maybe going with the fake here. I only say that, with 8 seconds and you throw it downfield, let's say they get it back with 3 seconds. Well, they got it midfield. They have a chance at a Hail Mary, but.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, but I'm in Western Michigan. I'm the Broncos, Mid-American Conference. I'm playing here in East Lansing against the Spartans. I'm down 14-0. What the heck? There's 2 ways to coach.
You haven't beaten them since 1919.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's 10 meetings between now and then, and the last couple have been close. But yeah, maybe they feel like, what do they have to lose? Still nobody back for the Spartans.
I mean, there's no one back. If you could beat someone at the line and get rid of the ball, I don't know if the punter can throw it to him. I don't know that. He's 30 years old. He probably can.
Well, there will be no block. The punt gets away, and after all that drama, nothing really comes of it. 1 second left. It's the end of the second quarter that won't really end. Tim Lester can laugh about it. Now Michigan State can throw a Hail Mary with 1 second left, right?
A big Hail Mary.
14-0.
I'd take the knee and go on in. Why take a chance of anything going wrong? I don't know what the odds would be of scoring on one play from here, so I'd take the knee, go in, and everybody will boo you, but that's okay.
If you're Tim Lester, are you okay with how this first half went? You're not pleased offensively, but it's not like you're getting blown out of the water.
No, but when he looks at the people that he has on that offense, he says, fellas, we're better than this. Come on, we got to do a better job, and we got to mix things up. And somehow get a little more consistency, find a big play. One score, we're back in this game.
Yeah, their defense for Western Michigan's been pretty good, but offensively, all 14 points go to the Spartans. Stay tuned for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Mike, Jerry, and Howard. Coming up next, our halftime score, Michigan State 14, Western Michigan 0. 14-0, Michigan State leading Western Michigan, inching closer and closer to the start of the third quarter. And let's go down to Elise Menaker.
Hi, Brandon. You guys at the break were talking about this Michigan State defense. I asked Coach about that, and he said, yeah, they're playing well. We just have to keep eliminating the big plays. He says, we also want to keep moving the ball and scoring in the second half. Sounds easy enough, right? As for Brian Lewerke, the leading rusher in that first half, I asked Coach about him. Hey, you may not like it, but if he gets you 7 points, how about that? He says, well, he can run it. As for the Western Michigan coach, Tim Lester, he said, yes, we need to slow down Brian Lewerke, but we can't key him too much because then if we do that, LJ Scott will get going. Brandon, you even asked before the half if Tim Lester was pleased with this first half. Well, I asked him that question directly. He said, no, I don't really think we've played that well. We haven't done anything special, too many third and longs for a freshman quarterback. But he said, hey, look, if we haven't been playing that well and we're only down 14, this is our time to show what we can do in adversity. Guys?
And he still seems to be pretty loose and smiling over there on the sideline.
Well, you know, I like his demeanor that you saw right there. He's going around. He's trying to instill confidence in the players. Yeah, they didn't play well in that first half offensively against a very much improved Spartan defense. But, you know, it's 14-0. If they can get a score, they're right back in the ballgame.
Let's take a look at our quarterback comparison brought to you by Quicken Loans. Brian Lewerke responsible for both of the Michigan State touchdowns.
Yeah, I think when you look right there, it's in a lot. When you look at Rossing, you know, third and longs for a young guy like that. But the big difference is the effect that Brian Lewerke's had in this game with the called quarterback runs.
The big one, 61 yards on the ground for a touchdown. And then the passing touchdown to LJ Scott. That's where we stand right now. As we get set to launch for the second half. From a great crowd, as it always is here at Spartan Stadium. Darryl Stewart waits and takes. And he'll be spun around. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Stewart was brought down to the turf.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 38, 10-yard penalty. First down, Michigan State.
Mark D'Antonio not happy. Brian Bola with the infraction. So it's going to be tough starting field position for the Spartans.
Yeah, 38, Byron Bola. How many Bolas have they had play here at Michigan State? The answer is a lot of them, or maybe all of them.
They had Max and Riley, and now Byron.
Hank? Remember, you don't remember Hank.
but Max and Riley, they started here in 2011, so they've had a Bola on the roster for 6 years now. And it has been a good thing, but not on that play. LJ Scott will get the first carry. Got tripped up around the line and was able to fall forward for 3.
Well, Hank would be the grandfather, just an FYI.
Okay. You notice how I just laid out on that? Because I did not know Hank. But you know Hank.
I do know Hank.
By the way, I know a lot of people listening probably know, but Mark D'Antonio, he coached under you back in the day, didn't he?
I've got a couple guys, Mark D'Antonio and Dave Warner, the offensive coordinator, and Mark Snyder, the linebacker coach.
A lot of people were happy to see you at the Michigan State football office yesterday.
Well, we had a good time, and Tim Allen, one of my favorite people of all time, was my football ops guy in Kansas and Minnesota. Now that's what he does here. I think he might even have an assistant AD title, in charge of football or something like that, but best in the business.
It's fun to watch you and Mark D'Antonio yesterday, though. Tell old stories, reminisce. Third down and 3. And not that time. Brian Lewerke's been so good taking off and running the ball, but Nick Matic caught him and brought him down to the ground. That's the first sack of the game for the Broncos.
Yeah, this right here, that's a call pass, and there's no place to go. He's going to take him run. That's where he made a lot of ground last week against, Bowling Green. The difference today, well, a lot of times you saw those big runs. They were called runs. No doubt he was going to be the ball carrier. And it wasn't off a draw. It was more of a counteraction with the back going one way, him going the other.
At that time, Lewerke unable to find his way free. Punt coming from Hartbarger. Does get it away. Phillips not going to be able to return it. Michigan State happy about that. They don't want number 4 in black touching the football. Wednesday on a new Sports Light with Mike Hall. Mike sits down with New York Yankees manager and Big Ten alum Joe Girardi and gets rare access inside the skipper's office. Unbuttoned, unscripted, unfiltered. It's Sports Light with Mike Hall Wednesday at 11:30 Eastern right here on BTN.
Talk about a funny guy, Mike Hall.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, the only thing I can't figure out his Twitter, his tweets there. I mean, they make no sense to me. Most of them don't. I don't know.
Kids these days and their social media, right? But that's going to be exciting, him sitting down with Joe Girardi. That should be a lot of fun. Mike's a great guy. Joe Girardi, loud personality. a Big Ten alum, I should say. Girardi. Handoff. And Bellamy's got a little space. Slip out to the 41. Joe Bacci.
Glenn, but you know how to do Instagram stories now. Sorry to interrupt, Brandon. I thought we should get to important stuff.
Well, that's only because you coached me up.
That's right. I did. Now you're a pro.
He's on all mediums, as Glenn Mason.
We're getting him there. We're getting him there.
By the way, Elise, I need you to show me how to use Instagram. I think I've posted one thing on there.
You know I'm on top of it. Do it for the Insta, guys.
Here's a deep pass from Wasik, and it's incomplete. Giovanni Ricci went up to try to grab it, but the coverage was pretty good by Josiah Scott, who had the interception earlier in the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things you call 50-50 balls, but the execution of the Ricci was down there, and Wasik put the ball just like he could. He put a little air on it right to the inside, and I mean, that's really a heck of a play. It was a heck of a play by the defender, heck of a play by the quarterback, and Ricci could have held onto the ball. It would have been a great play by him.
Had a lot of hopes for Ricci, the redshirt sophomore, but unable to haul that one in. Western Michigan 0 for 7 on third downs in this game. Getting to him in the backfield, but still able to slip forward and make it 1 for 8 on third downs. Levante Bellamy finally tackled by Bacci. So they get off the schneid, so to speak. 9-yard gain.
Missed tackles, can't play. Oh, man, that would have been a big loss. And I tell you, I'm really impressed with these running backs for Western Michigan.
It was Demetrius Cooper who almost had Bellamy down to the backfield, but he was able to escape the senior defensive end. Good thing for Michigan State, though, that Cooper's out there. He got injured against Bowling Green, was limited this week in practice. On first down from midfield, 3 yards on the ground that time.
And these running backs are from all over. Bellamy's from Indianapolis, and Bogan's from Union, New Jersey, and Franklin's from Illinois.
Shows timeout for an injured player.
That's Joe Bacci that's down for Michigan State. Sophomore linebacker who, as we've talked about, is one of the key cogs in that wheel defensively.
Really played well a week ago, and coaches are really high on him.
Took off his red shirt middle of last year, played in spots, only 12 tackles, but they said in the offseason we knew he was going to be a starter for us this season. And unfortunate, he needs help getting off the field.
Yeah, you can see him right there, right in the middle, and he...
Ooh, that right leg kind of got turned awkwardly.
Yeah, sometimes a guy like that goes off, and a couple plays later, he's back in there. Tough guy, good player. Looks like a linebacker, doesn't he?
He does. especially when he smears the eye black down to the cheeks. 7 tackles for him right now on the sideline. Hopefully he'll be okay. They'll give it to Jamari Bogan. He's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. So Western Michigan, on their last 3rd down, was able to finally convert. They're 1 for 8 on 3rd down tries. Got another opportunity here. What do you like here, Coach?
I'd like to go to a slant route to one of the wide receivers. A rolled wheat.
Instead, it'll be a handoff. He'll stay on the ground. He's close. He looks like he's going to be a little short, but this is probably 4-down territory, is it
I
not?
would think, yeah. You're that close, you're going to go for it right here. And, you know, you keep saying, what do you like? They get lined up. They have a good look at what the defense is. He looks to the sideline. And obviously, if they got the numbers they want running, they're going to run the football.
Well, they go quickly here, and they do run it, and it's close. Demetrius Cooper got right in there with some of his teammates.
He didn't make it.
Brian Bullen, number 38, was in there as well. And he did not make it. Andrew Dow also in on the tackle, and Michigan State's defense continues to impress here in week 2 of the college football season. Back in East Lansing, we mentioned, Coach, you used to...
Yeah, there's my girl. There's Brooke Allen, man. You know, her dad, Tim Allen, was my football ops guy at Kansas and Minnesota, and her mom was my secretary.
That was Tim Allen in the hat there with the glasses. Davis leaping, and he caught it. Felton Davis, the 3rd. What an effort.
Wow.
25-yard reception.
That back shoulder throw, awful good. Well executed. I don't know if you're a defensive back, how you can defend that.
Sam Beal did his best, but a one-handed catch by Felton Davis, and now they're going to take a look and make sure that it was indeed a catch. If it stands, Davis will have 4 receptions, 69 yards on the game to lead them in receiving.
There's one of my failed. Oh, Brooke, I'll tell you, her family, great family. Her twin brother is playing at Lake Superior State. Great basketball player, Brandon. Let's see. Great concentration. That's a catch. I think he got both feet in.
Well, you certainly can't overturn it from that angle. Yeah, he only needs 1 foot. I think he got 2 in. You're right.
Probably watch and see if he control. They can't overturn that. That's a catch.
Either way, a heck of a play by Felton Davis.
Yeah, talking about the Allens, I feel like they're part of my family. You know, Tim worked for me. He's got 4 kids, and his oldest son is Brett's a GA down at the University of Kansas, and Brianna, she's
after review. The ruling on the field stands. It's 1st down.
Dan Capron confirms what we suspected. What do you
mentioned
think
about Brooke and Brandon? Great.
Let's go, State. Let's go, Green. Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute.
Stands. Oh my.
Man, she's changed. I would change the bit.
I was going to say, you know, that looks like it was taken yesterday.
God,
for you.
Let's go, State.
Boy. You're like a fine wine. Only better with age. Lewerke taking off. He'll get to the 30-yard line.
That's the type of thing he made his yards last week. You know, he dropped back the throw. It's not there. He'll take off and run it. You know, you asked Mark D'Antonio, is he the best running quarterback you've ever had? And it was interesting. He said, no, he's the most willing.
Most willing, right. Because earlier in the week, Dave Warner, co-offensive coordinator, said he's probably the most athletic quarterback we've had. And then, as you said, D'Antonio said most willing. He chose those words. But they love this kid. And they love that he's just a sophomore. And it will be a handoff to Hunter Rison. And that ball hit the ground. And it's picked up and taken the other way. That's Phillips. And Darius Phillips takes it all the way back for the first points of the game for Western Michigan. So Michigan State gave the carry to their freshman receiver, Hunter Rison, the son of the great Andre Rison. He coughs it up, and Phillips takes it the other way.
You know, Phillips just rips the ball out of there. And this guy's got a knack for big plays and touchdowns, and not going to catch him.
They're going to review this play. You could ask the question, was forward progress stopped? But I don't think they ever blew it dead. And you're right, Coach. Phillips just ripped him.
And he didn't touch his knee. Stayed in bounds.
So Darius Phillips, he has 4 pick sixes in his career, the 5 kick return touchdowns, and now that a 67-yard return on the fumble.
You know, I don't think I'd do anything his way.
No.
I wouldn't throw his way. I wouldn't kick his way. I wouldn't run his way.
Just go away from him. So they're looking at it regular speed in the booth, and this is what it looks like, regular speed.
You got it.
Number 5, Hunter Rison, ball carrier.
The only thing you might be able to say is if number 10, Robert Spillane, was touching that football when his left hand was out of bounds, but I don't think he did.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
So Dan Capron says it stands. Touchdown, Western Michigan. We got a ball game.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was talking about. Tim Lester talking to his guys. Hey, we haven't played our greatest. We're in this ball game. All we have to do is create something, and they just created it.
To make it a 7-point game, Josh Grant, the true freshman kicker from Flower Mound, Texas, puts it through. Phillips with the electric play. Defense making good offense. 14-7. Georgia State East Lansing outside of the Michigan State Union. It was Spartans 14-0. Now it's 14-7. Thanks to Darius Phillips. He's been good in every phase, returning the ball. 2 pass breakups, the interception, then a moment ago, the 67-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
You know, I remember the phone conversation, we asked about him. Western Michigan coaches, they say, you know what, he is a legitimate Big Ten corner.
Absolutely. He's been so good for them on Saturdays as the kickoff goes through the end zone. But people are saying, hey, he's going to be pretty good on Sundays as well. Isn't that right, Elise Smeneker?
Yes, he very well could be, Brandon. Maybe for the Bears, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's because head coach Tim Lester has compared him to Devin Hester, yes, the former All-Pro returner. Coach says just like him, everyone kind of holds their breath when he gets the ball in the return game. He says that his team now knows the importance of blocks because he could just do about anything with that ball in the return game. It'll be interesting. He was waiting to see, are they going to kick him or not? Well, guys, so far, they're letting him run.
And Tim Lester also admitted, I like to compare him to Devin Hester because I'm a Bears fan. That's what Tim Lester said. Screen out to the right side. First down, passing the 40, goes Darrell Stewart.
See, that's one of those things right there. It's a game of numbers. They had 2 receivers out there. Western Michigan only had 1 defender. There's no one on the inside receiver. As long as the wide out makes a block on the corner, they're off to the races.
Well, when we asked co-offensive coordinator Jim Bowman who excites you out of that group of receivers, right away he said Darrell Stewart Jr. Darrell Stewart, by the way, from Houston. His mother displaced by Hurricane Harvey. So he has a lot on his mind these days. This time they go to Madre London on the ground up the middle for 8 yards. Let's check in with Mike Hall for a studio update.
Brennan and Glenn, the latest with Penn State and Pitt is Saquon Barkley getting involved in the passing game. Here, Trace McSorley finds him straight over the middle. That's a 46-yard score. The Nittany Lions are up on their in-state rival, 21-3.
Thank you, Mike. Inside of 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Michigan State looking for an answer after the defensive touchdown by the Broncos. Second and 2. It's just going to be a 1-yard gain, so that'll bring up third down for the Spartans.
Yeah, right there. Western Michigan just stuffed that Spartan offense right at the line of scrimmage. Last time they were in this situation, they went with a quarterback sneak. Third, fourth, short, same type of situation.
You've got options here, don't you?
Yeah. Probably if he has the look that he wants up the middle.
He'll hand it to Madre London. The hole was plenty big enough, and it's a first down. Madre London, he had his coming out party against Western Michigan 2 years ago. First 2 touchdowns of his career as a freshman came against the Broncos in that game.
Madre London hails from St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale, so I don't know if his people down there have been evacuated or they're hunkered down somewhere watching him play, but we wish his family the best also.
Yeah, we mentioned Darryl Stewart, his mother being displaced by Hurricane Harvey. Now we got Hurricane Irma. And look out! Speaking of Stewart, cutting inside, 10, 5, stretching out, and he is just short. The ball came out too, but they say he was down. 46-yard carry, and oh, so close for Darryl Stewart.
Yeah, he's trying to reach the ball across the goal line, but he was down. And we talked about wide receiver sweeps.
And now they're just going to bang it home with Brian Lewerke. He's in. And Michigan State strikes right back. His second rushing touchdown of the game to go along with a passing touchdown for Lewerke.
You mentioned Jim Bowman talking about how excited he is about Darryl Stewart. You can see why. Receiving, reverses, all those things that have always been a big part of the Spartan offense.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
So they will take a peek and make sure that Lewerke got it in. It appeared from the naked eye like he crossed the chalk.
The chalk? They still chalk fields?
No, it's just a figure of speech.
Okay.
They paint them.
I thought maybe they still chalk.
Doesn't chalk sound better than paint, Coach?
I guess.
Come on.
Actually, a lot of times on artificial fields, they're inlaid white. They don't have to paint them or anything.
Oh, this is only our second game together. We got too long to go. It took Michigan State only 2:36 to answer the touchdown by Western Michigan. As we look at this again, well, the knee was down, but again, with these, it's so hard to overturn.
I'm going to tell you what Jim Bowman's going to say. Tyler Higbee, come on now. You got to get out of the way. Watch him here. You about backed up and knocked the quarterback down. Come off the ball. You're down on the 1-inch line.
Tough to tell.
The ruling on the field stands as called. Touchdown.
So again, they couldn't confirm it. They just say that it stands as called. Not enough evidence to overturn. And the Spartan faithful celebrate. Redshirt freshman Matt Coughlin puts it up and in. 6:07 left in the third quarter. Michigan State just took 2 minutes and 36 seconds to put it in the end zone. Tuesday on an all-new campus Eats, Troy Johnson and Jenny Dell show you some of the best date night spots to frequent around the Big Ten. Catch a brand new campus Eats presented by Eat Street Tuesday at 10 Eastern right here on BTN. Oh, look at that ice cream here on the Michigan State campus.
D'Antonio.
Man, I'm leaving. Take over. I'm going there.
There's a D'Antonio something. I wonder what that was. I missed it there.
The sesquicentennial swirl. I'll have two. 21-7. Michigan State leading it. Spartans over 200 yards on the ground. Darius Phillips, who's been So impressive in this game in a couple different phases, taken down around the 25, and then a flag comes in.
I don't get it.
Hey, just make you guys make sure on.
Here's Dan Capron.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 21. 10-yard penalty. First down, Western Michigan.
Penalty on Stephon Claiborne.
Yeah, oh man, I guess.
Can't do that.
No. Then he jumped on the guy.
Is that one where you just hide in your seat in the film room?
Well, you know, yeah. You just hope that the official didn't see it, put it that way, you know.
So
he didn't even throw his hands up like I didn't do anything, because he knows.
what can Western Michigan do to get their offense going? They're only touchdown defensive at this point.
Well, they really struggled running the football consistently. They got to get the ball on the outside.
108 total yards is all they have on offense. Faking the give to Bellamy. Wasink. He is going outside long, but he overthrew Anton Curtis by a wide margin. The offense has been anemic for John Wasink and company. That tells the story.
Yeah, when you look at 7 points on the board, but you had nothing to do with it. 6 punts, interception, turnover on downs.
Ran for over 260 yards out at USC last week. That game was tied with under 8 minutes to go before the Trojans would win it. There's a good gain on the ground. Seen a lot of Levante Bellamy.
Yeah, but another positive gains off a missed tackle by the Spartan defense. Could have been a face mask, and Andrew Dowles had some good play and some missed tackles.
Here's the 4th sack of the game for Michigan State. This time getting in there, Raekwon Williams, the 300-pound sophomore.
From Chicago.
So only 11 sacks all of last year, and as I said, the 4th today right here.
Oh, man, that big guy, he just did a little swim move, and no hitter by the offensive line, and he makes the play.
Looked like you and Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'd be underwater.
Here's Glenn Mason. I'm Brandon Gaudin having fun in East Lansing. 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Wasink. He airmailed another one. That was way over the head of Giovanni Ricci. And then on the throw, he took a hit.
Yeah, you taught the big thing they want pressure.
This is Kenny Willekes saying hello.
Good tackle, not too low, not too high.
Wasink is 0 for 3 throwing the ball this quarter. They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. It'll be a ground carry for Bellamy. Breathing room out to the 25. Byron Buller with another tackle for Michigan State after a 10-yard gain.
Good series for the Spartans.
All the talk of the defense we discussed earlier, them trying to change things up. Whatever they've changed up, it appears to be working.
Yeah, they got a 3rd down package where they play with 3 down linemen, but it's not just a 3-man rush covered with 8. There's linebackers are moving around. There's a confusion factor. It's been very effective tonight, to say the least. Tonight, it's getting to be night.
Yeah, it's getting to be nighttime. I think it works. Low punt by Derek Mitchell. Nelson splits 2. Gets to the outside. Nice return by the freshman Larice Nelson. They say he's a freak of an athlete, and he showed it right there. The football facility just across the way. Beautiful here on Michigan State's campus. I'm on BTN to go and Fox Sports Go. 1-7.
We're in Happy Valley.
And we will be in Happy Valley indeed to see Penn State take on Georgia State as L.J. Scott is driven out of bounds in the backfield. We got a moment. Let's toss it down to Elise.
Hi, Brandon. You mentioned earlier in the broadcast how the Michigan State wide receivers are calling themselves the bad boys. Well, I asked Darryl Stewart about that, the man who set up the last touchdown. He said, we're a young group, so we're out to prove ourselves. We're hard workers. And, yeah, we're physical like the bad boys, but it is football after all. On the flip side of that, running backs on Western Michigan, they're calling themselves the drawer of socks because they're interchangeable. Whoever's out there will do a good job. So it's the Sox versus the bad boys out there, guys.
Oh, I don't know how much marketing material that has in its back pocket. Going to the left side, Lewerke's going to tuck it and run, and then he'll step out in front of his teammates. Of course, you remember the bad boys of the Pistons in the 80s.
Yeah, sure.
The basketball team.
I like when Elise asked Jim Bowman about that, and he goes, oh, they do they?
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know.
You know, you talk about that dog and hunt. Elise, how does she get all that information, huh?
She's prepped and ready.
Yeah, she's good.
Happy to have her alongside us this year and our entire crew. Jim Ressler, our producer, Pat O'Connor, our director, and boy, we're set up here in the booth with Ethan Cooperson and Bob Lanigan. Just a fantastic crew. Rolling to his right, Lewerke. And that one is almost intercepted, and guess who? It was Darius Phillips right there.
Why are you throwing it that way? Huh?
He intercepted one earlier. He had a 60-plus yard return on a fumble, 67-yard return for a touchdown. Almost got his second one here, Coach.
Yeah.
Would have been a heck of a play. Lewerke wasn't happy. Maybe it was the wrong route from Tristan Jackson. It was number 86 that he was talking to after the throw, and now the punt coming up. It's not Phillips, it's Bellamy back there to return it, but it won't be returnable. It's a nice punt by Jake Hartbarger, who's had a great start to the season. Punting the football for the Spartans, 45-yard kick, no return. Another one coming up tonight on BTN, Western Kentucky at Illinois, 8 Eastern time. Keep it locked right here, wall-to-wall football action. You got a spot already picked out for us in State College next weekend?
Am I buying or are you?
You're buying.
Well, yeah, I got a little fast food joint.
Because you stood us up last night in East Lansing, you had to do one of your highfalutin dinners.
Well, one of my good friends, Greg Locke, lives at Kalamazoo. He came over. We had a little dinner.
I just was a little hurt. You know, you and Jim Ressler went off, but that's okay. Handoff here from back deep in their own territory. Levante Bellamy for the Broncos, getting a little space.
You know what I like about this defense, and it's still a work in progress, but you see a good rushing football team like Western Michigan, and you see the hole momentarily open up, and then it closes. You know, they're getting off blocks. They're not staying blocked. They're playing as a team.
They've got a lot of depth. They're rolling quite a few guys in there, especially in the second level. Bellamy again, just as we praise the defense. A lot of room for Levante Bellamy. First down, Western Michigan.
And good to report, Bocce's back in there. Like I said, tough guys you see leave the field sometimes. A couple plays are better, but you can't lose contain like that. That's at least 3 times it's happened to him.
Off play action, Wassing completes it to Eskridge, and then the ball hits the ground. They're going to say it's incomplete. He never had control.
Well, this Spartan defense has made a lot of improvement over week 1 to week 2. You know, they wanted more pressure on the quarterback. They wanted turnovers. They wanted sacks. They're getting it. They're playing hard. Developing that attitude that they used to have.
That was junior Matt Morrissey knocking it loose from Eskridge. Western Michigan only 8 first downs in this game. They have 7 punts. Now on second down, rolling out and hitting Bogan, and then Bogan gets hit and dropped. Well, you just mentioned Matt Morrissey. There he is again, number 10 in white.
Yeah, and his dad was a great linebacker here. You watch this play, and the quarterback's going to go, and he's going to get the ball out there. He has no idea where Morrissey is, and he closes hard, inside out, wraps him up, makes the tackle. His dad's saying, that's my boy, right there.
It looked like it on that play. Tim Lester hoping his team can come up with something here on 3rd and 14. It's the 8th time today that Western Michigan has had a 3rd down and 8 or more. Long throw, incomplete. Anton Curtis could not quite grab it as he climbed the ladder.
That's a long throw. Near hash, wide boundary. Watch it here. He just launches that ball, low release. He got a receiver. He put it right on the. You got to catch that.
Curtis listed at 6'1", needed to be 6'2". So they have 8 first downs and now 8 punts after this one for Western Michigan. Nelson dropped pretty quickly inside the 25. It's a 50-yard punt for Derek Mitchell, just a few on the return.
You know, Mitchell is doing a good job. You know, you mentioned before a rugby kick, but, you know, he's putting it to a spot, you know, and you can see the guys on the coverage team know where it's going. So you think it was low and it was deep. Well, there's not much hang time. It'd be hard to cover. They're right there to make the play.
The way this one's going, Coach, Western Michigan unable to get anything going on offense. You feel like if Michigan State can take it down the field, put it in the end zone, that might all but put this game on ice.
Yeah, that's exactly what Mark D'Antonio's thinking.
21-7 right now with 47 seconds left in the 3rd. Pretty good job there by Gerald Holmes. Just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
But you bring up a good point. You know, when you're the head coach, you're not the offensive coach. You see the whole thing and you say, you know, we're playing great defense. You know, we gave them 1 score because of a turnover on offense. You know, if we can start grinding out, get some first downs, get our running game going, utilize a good kicking game, give them a long way to go. At the end of the day, we're going to walk out a winner.
And they're certainly in no rush right now, as they're going to let the 3rd quarter wind down and hit zeros. 11th year head coach Mark D'Antonio trying to get his team off to a 2-0 start as they hold up 4 fingers, and indeed we are off to the 4th quarter. Western Michigan did get on the board with a Phillips touchdown, but they're still down 14. Michigan State almost 200 more yards of total offense than Western Michigan so far.
Yeah, let's not forget, you see that score, 7 points. That is not against the Spartan defense. That was a turnover by the offense, taken the other way. So they're pitching a shutout so far.
Hoping that trend continues. Sparty roaming around here at Spartan Stadium. Beautiful Saturday afternoon, week 2 of the college football season. Time now, the pocket collapses. But a great pass by Lewerke. He's able to find Darrell Stewart. What an effort there on both ends.
Yeah, they had him on the run and he threw the ball, and what a great job. Any young receivers back there, look at it right there. Came back to the ball and he's got his great point. He got hit in the face too. He's lucky, and watch him come back to the ball. You got to come back to the ball. You can't wait for the ball to get to you because the defender will close on it.
But you're right. Caleb Bailey and Robert Spillane were right there ready to tackle Lewerke. He was able to get rid of it, get 13 yards out of the play. I formation this time, and a fumble right at the line of scrimmage, but Lewerke falls right on it. Let's check in with Mike Hall for a studio update.
Hey, Brandon, it's an update of the other game on your BTN alternate channel, and it's an update from Gus Edwards. Straight through the middle, 23 yards for the score. Rutgers takes the lead in the 3rd. They're up 13-10.
Gus Edwards from 20.
Drop snap last time. Lewerke, though, able to get it.
You see that right there? Center quarterback exchange, T formation. Old line coach, old head coach. That should never happen. It should be 100 out of 100 times.
Brian Allen, the normal center, but Matt Allen was in there for the last snap. Now they've gone back to Brian, as this time the other Brian, Lewerke, keeping it. And he's able to get out across the 40.
Yeah, Dave Warner called a little option play to the right there, and they went to take the tailback. Hall was big. Lewerke went right inside. Good execution. Anytime a team has the ability to run option football, doesn't matter what formation it's from, that causes problems for defensive coordinators calling some gimmick defenses.
And it resulted in a 6-yard gain for 5 officially. Third down, or 6, it was 6 because it was 2nd and 11, so 3rd and 5 now. Lewerke again connecting with Darrell Stewart, but he's brought down short. A flag, though, back behind the line of scrimmage. As it stands, it's 4th and 1. Western Michigan also has defensive end Eric Asua down on the ground, so a lot going on this play. And you got Darrell Stewart limping a little bit. Athletic training staff going to check with Stewart. Here's the call from Dan Capron.
Personal foul. Offense, number 61, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty.
That's on the left tackle, Cole Chewins. And we'll have to get another look at this. Here we go. So Chewins getting tangled up there with number 33, Eric Asua, and Asua is still down right now on the ground. Junior defensive end Eric Asua in a lot of pain, grimacing as he went to the sideline after that last play. And then while we were away, Michigan State took a timeout. So an extended period of break here, but the penalty was declined, so it's 4th and 1 from the 45, their own 45 for Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State lined up to go for it, which I wouldn't agree with. We talked about this game earlier. They're playing great defense. You know, the time is starting to be on their side. Why not punt it away? Don't give them a chance. Don't give them good field position. Other than, you know, if you're going to do that, maybe you're going to come up here and try to draw them off sides. And if you don't draw them off, then punt the ball. But if Western would stop them here, that'd be a big play for Western.
They've got their offense out there, I formation. L.J. Scott is going to get the carry, and he's got the first down and more. L.J. Scott pushed out inside the 15.
Like I was saying, I'd definitely go for it on 4th down.
Well, Western Michigan, they opted for the 4th and 1 instead of a 3rd and over 20 yards to go, and this is the result.
Yeah, they came off the ball there. I'll tell you, I'm really impressed. Matt Sokol, that tight end position, they ran the half tackle power. He came down and just blew that defensive tackle out of the way.
44-yard run. It's the 3rd rush of over 40 yards in the game for Michigan State. L.J. Scott, give it to him again up the middle. Not as much room there this time. 2 yards to the 9. Had to feel good, though, for L.J. Scott after the 2 fumbles last week. He had the touchdown reception, and they're breaking off his longest run of the season. Inside of 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Michigan State trying to salt this away. It's Scott. Short. Good carry, though. Down to around the 1 before he's brought down by Asante Brown.
Yeah, their tight ends are doing a good job, and we talked about it before. They think they got some guy. Look at Sokol come down there right there, and he does a great job. He takes the right avenue for the linebacker. The linebacker runs underneath him. He adjusts. And if you're a linebacker, you run underneath like that, you better make the play. I can tell you that. And he didn't.
3rd down from the 1. See if they go L.J. Scott once more. It is Scott. And the result is a touchdown. 1 receiving, now 1 rushing for the junior from Hubbard, Iowa.
That would be Hubbard, Ohio. Oh, yeah. Come on, Mark, smile. You guys are doing good, man.
The bench improved, especially backup quarterback Damian Terry, number 6, coming out there. Maybe Mark D'Antonio will save the smiles for the postgame. But yes, L.J. Scott from Hubbard, Ohio, as the extra point is up and good. 28-7. The ground game working for the Spartans. L.J. Scott making up for the 2 fumbles from last week.
Caper cutting it back. Caper breaks the tackle. Got a first down to the house. Touchdown! Michigan State has won.
That was Larry Caper. That'll make the Michigan State fans smile from 09.
Yeah, old Larry Capers from Battle Creek, Michigan. You think he was excited there, huh? Beat the Wolverines at home?
Everybody was pumped up except for the Michigan Wolverines. Phillips returning it. Look out! Look out! Darius Phillips! Second touchdown of the game! And his 6th kick return touchdown of his career. This one for 100 yards.
Brandon, I keep telling you, don't kick to him. Man,
this kid's unbelievable.
Watch it right here. And a great execution by the Broncos special teams. They just believe in the guy. If they get some things going, they know he's going to take it all the way back.
Well, Mark D'Antonio said he was an unknown to us in 2015. He had a 100-yard kick return against the Spartans in that game 2 years ago, and he does it again. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing him on Sundays like we speculated earlier. He's the only reason they're in this game.
Yeah, Southern Cal, they're sitting out there watching this game. They're thinking, we did a pretty good job at that thing. He only got us once,
And the fumble return of 67 yards, and now this.
But he hits it right up the middle, then he makes the cut. You see some really good blocks there, and I'll tell you, when he's by you, he's gone.
So if you're the coach that's playing him next week, and that will be Idaho, what do? You just kick it out of bounds and say start at the 35 or what?
I wouldn't have kicked to him this week. I'm just going to tell you. Huh? Squib kicked it, do whatever, but don't do it. Loop it down there, put it in someone else's hands, but don't kick it to Darius Phillips. He's too good.
He has 1 punt return in his career, 5th kick return of his career, so 6 total. The touchdown earlier on the fumble. He has 3 pick sixes from last year. As a defensive back, yes, he does it all. And as we said in the first quarter, they want to try to get him involved on the offensive end as the season progresses too, and I don't see why not. He's going to start flying the plane to the road games. Darrell Stewart, he'll try to answer, but he couldn't spin free.
Yeah, you don't return it the whole way all by yourself. You need a team, and there was some really good blocks right there. And you'll see number 36, Foster. Watch him right here. Boom! I mean, right there. You can't draw it up any better than that. Sean Foster, look at that. Man, you talk about a block. It's like a fullback getting that done.
Deshaun Foster, yeah, the redshirt sophomore defensive end. He put Sean Harrington of Michigan State on his back. So 28-14, things remain interesting. Thanks to Darius Phillips. This time it's Andre London. And he'll get 3 yards.
Brandon, through 2 weeks of college football this year, I've never seen so many big plays in the kicking game. Kickoff returns for touchdown, punt returns for touchdown, blocked field goals. It's just amazing. Fumbles on kickoff returns. It's like the year of the special teams.
Yeah, so much talk always about offense and defense. Don't forget about that third phase. Michigan State on the ground, 270 yards rushing. And they will throw it here. Caught Rison, who fumbled when he was carrying the ball earlier, this time with his first reception of the game. It's the son of Andre Rison.
He was pretty good.
Yeah. Good job of hanging on to it.
Man, Claiborne made a nice tackle there. Textbook.
Stefan Claiborne, right free safety. Just a sophomore for Tim Lester and company on the side of the Broncos. Up the middle across the 50 goes Madre London. And let's toss it down to Elise.
Thanks, Brandon. Don't think that Darius Phillips took all the wind out of these guys' sails. I've been observing the sideline the whole game, and they're smiling and, yeah, even dancing, even after the Phillips touchdown, which they've seen before. The coaches were telling us there's a different energy about this team. They like their guys. They're doing everything the right way. They're going to class. They're on time. They're practicing hard, and that's what these coaches like to see, especially, of course, after last season.
Well, the 3-9 campaign from 2016, everyone just wants to erase that, move on. L.J. Scott this time is going to be hit for a loss. Caleb Bailey, the linebacker, coming up to drop him. So it'll be 3rd and 8 for Michigan State.
Well, you know, quarterback runs have been really effective in this game. If you want to go semi-conservative here, you do that if you're Dave Warner or Mark D'Antonio and don't risk an interception. Might not be a bad call.
Less than 8 minutes to play. Lewerke, pressure coming. And he can't escape. The ball comes loose. And are they going to say that that was a fumble, or was he down? An important call here.
May I say huge call?
This could really make things interesting.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was fumbled, but then touched by a player who was out of bounds, rendering it dead.
So they do call it a fumble. Let's see if the call was correct. There's the fumble.
He's out of bounds. Yep.
Yep. No question.
They got it right.
Good job by Dan Capron and his crew. Ali Fayed knocked the ball loose, was trying to get over to it.
They got it right. And that's the same thing, Brandon, that they were looking at the one that Phillips picked up. Darius Phillips in return for a touchdown to make sure no one was out of bounds. And they got that one right on review. And I think this will stand.
Certainly from the evidence we saw, there's no argument.
Yeah, he just laid the ball on the ground. And there.
It was Ali Fayed, number 57, that was trying to pick it up at the end.
Yeah. You can see 95 overrun. Yeah. I don't see anything that would overturn that.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down.
And indeed, it is confirmed. Just for good measure, let's bring in Dick Honig. They got that one right, Dick. It looked clear.
Yes, you know, the question is the body out of bounds or any part of the body out of bounds when the ball is touched? That's the key aspect that they are looking at and looked at.
And that was the case. Ali Fayed could not corral it, so Michigan State will have to punt. Either way, Western Michigan's still going to get the football. Down 2 scores as that one goes off the side of the foot of Hartbarger. They wanted to keep it away from Phillips, and they did. Western Michigan making things interesting. Football on BTN is brought to you in part by State Farm, here to help life go right. A lot of trophies that they have in that case, including college football playoff semifinal trophy from a couple years ago. Michigan State up 28-14. 7:17 left in the fourth, but Western Michigan, they have the ball back. They haven't had an offensive touchdown in this game. They had Darius Phillips with a kick return and Darius Phillips with a fumble return for their 14 points. Wasink handing it off. Speaking of handing it off and rushing the football, here's today's Eat Street fastest delivery, and it belongs to that ground game. Not bad. 265 yards, 3 touchdowns. That one by L.J. Scott. 3 runs of 40 or more yards. But they continue to limit the Broncos on the ground and through the air. This will bring up a 3rd down.
And we mentioned it a lot earlier in the broadcast, but this Bronco offense ran for 263 yards just 1 week ago against USC. So, you know, you give credit to the Spartan defense? You bet you do, because these guys know what they're doing in the running game.
Yeah, Western Michigan's going to have another good season. It may not be 13-1 like it was last year, but this is still a good program. Quarterback John Wasink just 1 for 6 this half. Make it 1 for 7. Kari Willis, the safety, was there in coverage.
Man, that was great coverage. They had everybody up on the line of scrimmage. You knew it was going to be pressure. You knew he was going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. And Willis was all over the guy, didn't foul him, got his left hand in front of the ball. Excellent secondary play.
A lot of interesting signs over there on the sideline for Western Michigan. But right now, 4th down, and they've got the offense out there. With 6:04 remaining, and a timeout's going to be taken. Mark D'Antonio wants to talk it over before the 4th down play. So Mark D'Antonio took the timeout. Had to get set for this.
Yeah, good coaching. 4th down right here. Defense, we make the stop here. We'll grind it out, use the clock, at least kick a field goal. Game will be ours.
4th down and 5. Wasink. He's going to take off. Puts his nose down and plows forward for the first. John Wasink gets it done.
Yeah, he saw everybody up coming on a blitz. They all dropped out. They started to drop out. He saw some green grass in front of him, took off.
And now he's using that right arm to go deep, but it's over the head of Dwayne Eskridge.
Yeah, that's about 3 times now, to my count, that Wasink's thrown a deep ball, but he's thrown it all the way out of bounds. I mean, that's just a deep foul ball. Whether the guy's open or not. Lester knows that. You got to give the guy a chance to catch the ball.
He has struggled throwing it. He's 7 for 19, 39 yards. In this half, he's 1 for 8 for -3 yards, is John Wasink. Big tip of the cap, though, to that Spartan defense. On the ground, Jarvie and Franklin. Just not much there. 3rd and long. So your passing game isn't working, but it's 3rd down and 8. You can just go for a short throw here, Coach. It's easier said than done.
Not too short.
Yeah, not too short.
They're awful tough to run against. They're a good defense.
They'll go for a pretty good sized throw, but it's incomplete.
You could anticipate that last time on 3rd and long. Spartans played coverage. This time they brought the blitz. Another 4th down.
Matt Morrissey dove, hoping for the interception after it hit the hand of Eskridge, but he couldn't grab it. So here we go again, 4th and 8.
Showing pressure again.
The Broncos need this. Michigan State rushes 4, and it is a 1st down. Wassink stayed in the pocket, absorbed the hit from Chris Fry, and completed it to Eskridge.
Yeah, Fry came off the corner again. It was just a step away from a sack, and credit the Broncos for converting.
Less than 5 minutes to play. They're still in it, despite not having an offensive touchdown. Wassink, he's going to try deep again. No. No flags. Keyshawn Watson was the target, and the coverage pretty good by Kari Willis again.
You know, they've gone downtown a number of times in this game, and it's not just because where the game is the time. They saw the same thing that I saw Bowling Green against this defense. Bowling Green had receivers deep that were open that they couldn't convert on it. I really think that Michigan State has covered these receivers a lot better than they did Bowling Green's a week ago.
And the numbers bear that out, with Western Michigan being under 50 yards passing. Quick throw. Complete. Out to the 30 for the tight end Donnie Ernstberger, 9-yard play.
Yeah, they brought the blitz again, but if the quarterback gets rid of that ball that fast, you're not going to get to him.
Here they go, hurrying up. On the ground, Bellamy. He's not going to get to the chains. Mike Ponashuk coming up, laying down the lumber.
And here we are, almost 4 minutes left to go in the game, and these guys are playing hard.
A timeout is taken before a 4th down play coming up. Tonight, it's a primetime Pac-12 showdown on Fox when number 14 Stanford heads to the Coliseum to battle Heisman hopeful Sam Darnold and 6th-ranked USC. Coverage begins tonight at 8:30 Eastern, only on Fox. That'll be a good one, but we still have plenty to be determined here. Western Michigan facing a 4th and 3 coming up from Michigan State's 32 coach.
Yeah. Well, we keep talking about how many times, this is the 3rd time on 4th down that they've gone for it in this series.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 this drive, but they're just 1 for 14 on 3rd down. They're 2 of 3 on 4th down.
This is the 3rd time in this series.
You know what I'm asking? What are you drawing up?
Well, you know, I would assume that Michigan State's going to blitz again, and they've been effective throwing the ball quick versus the blitz. So I'm going to do that little quick hook with one of the receivers.
Let's see if Wassink does that. It is a quick throw, and it is a 1st down. He finds Eskridge again. That's been his favorite target. 9-yard gain.
Yeah, he's got tight coverage, but he beats him inside. And
quickly they go to Eskridge again. That time incomplete. He was pleading for a penalty flag. He didn't get it.
Yeah, there's that back shoulder throw that when executed properly, you just can't stop it versus press coverage.
He said, wait, I was being held by Justin Lane. No call. .359, all that's left. If you're just tuning in, both of Western Michigan's touchdowns came from a kick return and a fumble return. Their offense has not put any points on the board here at Spartan Stadium. Off play action. He goes underneath. Jarvian Franklin getting tripped up. Thought he had more yardage in the tank. Instead, he's down shy of the 15.
I'll tell you, Andrew Dowell, number 5, the outside linebacker for Michigan State, he's got some tough duty. A number of times he's been with all that space out there trying to tackle a very skilled receiver.
3rd and 2. Franklin this time with the handoff. 1st down. Tim Lester, Mark D'Antonio. Things getting tense. It'll get really tense if Western Michigan can put this in the end zone. We'll have a timeout before the snap.
The ruling on the field was that the runner made the line to gain for a 1st down. That play is under further review.
So instead of a timeout, it is a review forthcoming. They want to make sure that Jarvian Franklin indeed got the 1st down yardage that he was looking for.
Yeah, I was a little confused when I thought they called timeout. I said, why are they calling timeout here? I mean, you know, you got to save as much time as you possibly can.
You know, the review maybe gives Michigan State a chance to catch its breath on defense. Needed to get to the 14-yard line, and from that angle looked like he did. A little bit of a closer look. Yeah, he spun forward, and that's close.
Yeah. Awful close. And there's our guy, Joe Bocci again.
Yeah, number 35 in white. He's been in on a lot of plays. The spotting of the football on a play like this is so tough on these guys. I don't envy Dan Capron or our replay official Rodney Ames. We're going to find out right here.
After review, the runner did not make the line to gain. The ball is dead at the 14.5-yard line, at which point it will be 4th down and 1/2 yard to go.
That second view indeed showed right here. This is the look I'm talking about, a little short.
Yeah, his elbow hits just short.
If the ball was in his left hand, it probably would have been a 1st down.
Of which running to the left, it should have been. Good coaching point.
Thanks. I'll be here for 3 minutes and 17 seconds, unless we go to overtime. 28-14, but Western Michigan within striking distance. 4th down and a 1/2 yard.
And the clock is rolling.
And it is loud in Spartan Stadium. Going backwards. Oh, he flings it out to the outside. Jamari Bogan flipped it at the last second to Watson. But they're saying he's short.
I don't know if that was designed or improvised, but it was exciting. Didn't work.
Good job by Michigan State to rally the troops and make the play. I think it was improvised. Heads-up play by Bogan just to get it out to Watson, but then he couldn't get to the 14.
And, you know, when a play like that happens, yeah, I think it was just improvised, but credit Michigan State defense for continuing to play. You know, even though you think you have the guy in the backfield, nice play by Andrew Dowell. Love the pursuit.
And the bench loves it. They will in a second, as they hold Western Michigan and take over. They're going to review this play just to make sure that he was out shy of the 1st down markers we suspect he was.
Yeah, I think this is a good they improvised here. He runs, he bounces. It was just an inline play. Then he bounces out. He knows he's going to be tackled. Heads up, he throws outside. That man's heads up. And where did he go out of bounds?
Dick Honig, what did you see?
Well, it's where the ball crosses the sideline before he touches out of bounds. But it is one of the most difficult plays to call.
After review, the play stands as called. First down, Michigan State.
So stands as called. Dick, that means they didn't have the evidence to overturn it.
It is very, very difficult on a forward progress play without an absolute camera right down that point of where the ball may have crossed the line of the sideline. So it is a difficult call for replay.
And it clearly was a legal forward pass. He was well behind the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
Absolutely.
So 2:52 left, and now it's going to be very hard for Western Michigan as Michigan State takes over up 14. L.J. Scott off the left side for 3. Timeout taken by Western Michigan. 2:47 left. Offensively, the numbers skewed towards Michigan State. Their defense has really limited the Broncos.
Yeah, really, I don't know what the Michigan State defense could have done more in this game. I'm really impressed. You know, the thing about it, they used to have that unbelievable attitude here. Last year, they didn't quite have it. And you don't get it back overnight, but you can see it, you can feel it. They're building on it.
Mark D'Antonio said, you know, last year was just kind of unfortunately the perfect storm. Things obviously didn't go our way the whole season, but hoping to have the gang back together. He said this team reminds him a lot of his 2010 crew that went 11-2. That was a pretty good year. Stay tuned. Rick Pizzo, Jerry, and Howard will be along for the State Farm postgame. They'll bring you up to date on everything happening in the conference today. Timeout call. We've got another break. Michigan State hoping to go 2-0 against the MAC. They beat Bowling Green last week. Western Michigan, another team from the MAC conference this week, up 28-14 with 2:45 remaining.
Well, Michigan State, they're going to line up, and they're down. They're going to run the football again. Use as much time as they can. And
well, Western Michigan has burned their final timeout. So
I'm saying, use the clock up all the way down, and then whatever you do, just don't punt to you know who.
Darius Phillips probably chomping at the bit to get another opportunity. They'll try to go around the edge with Stewart. And Darrell Stewart has the first down. That should all but put this game on ice.
Yeah, we talked about impact players. Not only him as a receiver, but those wide receiver sweeps, which they call him, and he's effective. He's got a knack for it, and it just complements everything else they do on offense. Good, strong running backs inside, overcommit inside, and there he goes.
3 carries for 70 yards for Stewart. He's a wide receiver, but they like to get him the ball in those situations. He showed you why. Not a whole lot there for L.J. Scott. So you got the 3 running backs who can carry it. Then you got Stewart, the wide receiver, and Lewerke. It's kind of a 5-headed rushing attack for Mark D'Antonio.
Well, I still go back, you know, the key ingredient for the development of this offense is going to be the offensive line. They're young. They got one experienced player. As they gain experience and get better, they're going to be tough offensively.
You're right, though. They returned just 35% of their offensive line production from last year.
This is a very young football team, Michigan State.
And they have 53 freshmen or redshirt freshmen on the roster. 18 of them played last week. L.J. Scott, some tough yards out to the 45.
Well, we asked Mark D'Antonio, did he play more true freshmen last week in his opener than he's ever played in a game? He says, you know, probably. You know, he's kind of dodging that question maybe a little bit, but he said, and he's one of those guys, Mark D'Antonio, he'll never make an excuse about anything. It is what it is. The players that he's got, the situation that he's got, he's going to take, you know, that's his. He's going to put the signature on the product regardless if it's good or bad.
3 guys over 70 yards rushing for the Spartans. Scott with 85. Lewerke, the quarterback, with 78. And we mentioned Darrell Stewart, the wide receiver. He has 70 on 3 carries.
Back
Scott, he'll be stopped, and that'll bring up 4th down. And we will not have a 4th down play. So Tim Lester, his team lost at USC last week in a close one. They fought hard here, but they did not have any offensive touchdowns. Both went to Darius Phillips, that man number 4. That's the reason that the Broncos kept this thing pretty close to the end.
Well, you can see the respect that the Spartan players have for number 4. That's one great thing about college football. You respect great players.
Michigan State, we said they wanted to get the ground game going, and they did. 296 yards rushing for Mark D'Antonio's crew and 3 rushing touchdowns to go along with a Brian Lewerke passing touchdown to L.J. Scott. So that's it from East.